What do you do when doctors don't know what's wrong with you? That's been a theme in Kim Karimi's life. Kim is a functional health consultant who spent the last 10 years studying chronic illness and methods for restoring healthy body balance. She works virtually with those who struggle with gut-related illness, autoimmune disease, mold toxicity, and mast cell activation syndrome. She provides diet and lifestyle education, functional lab test and supplement recommendations, and highly personalized support to help people get well. Through stories of loss and hope, Kim's message will help you realize the power we each have in taking control of our own health. Enjoy.
It was 2 days before my sister's 32nd birthday when my dad called. All he said was, "Tracy died." I think I uttered something in disbelief like, "No, she didn't," making my dad have to repeat those dreaded 2 words. We hung up and I almost threw up. It didn't make any sense. She had just called my mom a couple of hours ago about how much Benadryl she could take. Did she OD? My sister had a history of weird symptoms. She would vomit at every major holiday and get rashes from artificial food coloring. Her hand or her face would swell up when she got upset, and her mosquito bites were always the size of quarters. My mom took her to the doctor so many times. They would say, "Don't worry so much. She's just a redhead. It's her temperament. Ignore her and it will go away." My mom didn't ignore her or her symptoms, but she didn't know how to help her either. As an adult, Tracy's stress increased, and so did her problem with odd symptoms. Often her whole face would swell up until she was unrecognizable, and sometimes it affected her breathing as her throat would tighten. That day, it was happening again. She couldn't breathe very well, so she went to the doctor to get a shot like she'd done many times when Benadryl didn't work. While she was at the doctor's office, her heart rate got too high, and when the doctor tried to slow it, it accidentally stopped. They couldn't revive her. She died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, leaving behind her husband and 4 young daughters. Tracy never got a diagnosis, but she knew there was a problem. Maybe you or someone you love has that feeling that something isn't right in your body. There are clues. Please don't ignore them. Don't wait until you've spent a decade searching for the right doctor who can diagnose you with some chronic condition. You can take control of your health today. There is hope, there are answers, but you may have to be the one looking for them. Less than a month after my sister died, I ended up in the hospital myself. I had been sick for 2 weeks and had lost a lot of weight because I couldn't eat, was constantly having diarrhea, and vomiting many times a day. I had to crawl to the bathroom because I was no longer strong enough to walk. I had gone to the doctor twice already, and each time they sent me home telling me I would probably be fine in a few days. But I was steadily getting worse. Crying, I asked my husband to drive me to the hospital because I couldn't handle it anymore. I prayed they would admit me. I was severely dehydrated, and they were concerned I might have some infectious disease. Finally, after a lot of tests, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, pumped full of antibiotics and steroids, and sent home. The doctor said all I could do was take meds, and when they stopped working, take new meds. That's it. No hope to get better. I couldn't wrap my head around how I would be sick from here on out. It didn't sound logical. I was always so strong. I had to be because everybody depended on me. And suddenly, I felt so weak. But I decided not to buy into the belief that I couldn't be well again. I started researching every day, looking for anything that would help. I found information about the specific carbohydrate diet that Stephen Wright and Jordan Reasoner shared on their website. They had had similar symptoms to what I was experiencing, and now they were strong and healthy without medication. I started following the diet that they had used to heal, and I got stronger and felt better than I had in a long time. I learned so much over the next few months. I realized that I had gluten and dairy sensitivities. That was why I had chronic sinus issues and had to take sinus medication and ibuprofen every day to deal with the pain and pressure. Ibuprofen and oral contraceptives had damaged my gut too. I learned just how much lack of sleep and stress played into my body finally breaking down. Even my rocky marriage was part of what landed me in the hospital, and the final trigger was the shock of my sister's sudden death. She and I had been living with years of ignored symptoms and piles of stress that were only getting worse over time. What if my sister and I had made some targeted lifestyle changes years earlier? We both lived the same way we always had because we didn't listen to our bodies enough and we misplaced our trust. Like my sister, I was told I was making a big deal out of nothing whenever I would complain to my doctor about the troubling symptoms creeping in. I wasn't taken seriously until I landed in the hospital. But you don't need a diagnosis to be sick, and you certainly don't need one to get well. When my sister's struggle began, the internet didn't even exist. Now we have so many answers at our fingertips. We used to be able to see doctors only within driving distance, and now we can work with a practitioner on the other side of the world. Back then, there were only traditional labs and doctors, many of whom were not suited to diagnosing chronic conditions. Today, we have functional medicine practitioners and lab tests to help you find the underlying issues driving your illness. You can even order lab tests for yourself online from sites like directlabs.com. If you choose to work with a functional medicine practitioner, you'll have a partner to guide you on your health journey. In other words, there are resources and people willing to help you get better, even if you're still in the process of figuring out what exactly is wrong. I encourage you to find other people who have already successfully gone through a similar health challenge. Join a Facebook group. Feel the support of people who get it and know that you're not crazy. Learn what has worked for others. Be willing to make practical lifestyle and diet changes. Have faith that you possess the power to take your health in a new direction. When doctors dismiss you and friends and family think you're a hypochondriac, it hurts. Continue to trust yourself. Don't stop searching for specific answers, but start making broad changes now. No one ever talked to my sister about trying a different diet or gave her tools to help shift her body back into a relaxed state. These changes can have a profoundly positive impact. A change in diet, supportive herbs and nutrients, reducing toxin exposure, body work, meditation, and other essential lifestyle changes. These are all tools to help balance your body. There are a variety of options that can work for you. While I know making these types of changes can seem overwhelming, small steps can bring relief and new insight to help you on a path toward healing. More than anything, a willingness to try new things and listen to your body's needs is a powerful way to take back control of your health. Instead of waiting for a diagnosis to work toward a better life, let's be proactive with our health. Ask for the help you need, believe others when they say they aren't well, and above all, don't wait for a diagnosis to improve your life now.